Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the TripleU podcast. I am your co host, Sam. This glorious piece of meat next to me is Kat. Is that rude?
Hi.
Is that rude? Should we cut that out? We are two sober sisters, two best friends in our 30s who are here to try and shed some light on the stuff that you never hear spoken about, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you have anything that you've ever been concerned about, we've been concerned about it too. And we probably figured out the hard way not to be. So please like, follow, and share this. Keep coming along. And if you have anything you want us to talk about, please don't hesitate to ask. We are here to help you as your favourite and slightly unhinged best friends.
Slightly.
All right, let's
Perfect.
get into this.
Yeah. Why do I still have this on? Get out of here.
Get at it. Scram!
Scram! She doesn't want to talk to you.
I've literally seen it on, I don't know, 50 videos today. I cannot. I love it.
I love
I
it
love
so
it.
much. I posted one on my story about like
And I've just
painkillers.
seen it about ibuprofen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it works.
I love it. I love it.
I love you.
I love you.
Does this look weird? Does this look like I'm sitting, like you can just see one foot and all black? Does it
You have
look
only
like
one foot.
I do only have one foot. Does it look, it's very comfortable. I sit like this all the time and I've just realized it looks a bit weird.
You look like a yoga queen.
I'm not, but thank you.
A Pilates queen.
Well, I do struggle sometimes, I'm not gonna lie.
I think everyone that does any kind of exercise struggles at some point.
I was thinking, like, I could be an instructor. I love this. I could do this every day. I can see that a couple of days a week. But then I was like, who wants who wants to be instructed by somebody who occasionally falls over and swears? Um,
Me. That sounds like it would be such a safe feeling place.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I'll add that to the list of many things I now do to make money.
For entrepreneurial
I am
endeavors.
in the entrepreneurial. I love it. Love life
Girl
right now.
boss.
Girl boss. Yeah. Things are amazing when you have the opportunity to rest, relax, and experiment, I think. There's lots of stuff right now about universal basic income. Oh my god, my words. Universal basic income and like 4-day work weeks and stuff like that. And there's been various different trials kind of across the world testing how universal basic income affects people. And over and large, the results are, when people have less stress, more time, and with a 4-day work week as well, actually they create art and they do things they love and they are more productive and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that has been the prime example of this last year for me, because although at the beginning I did nothing, and everything was kind of a slog, now I'm so busy. I was, trying to calculate how much I work now throughout the week, and I definitely, hitting full-time hours every single week, in this sort of 40-hour, if that's what we're calling full-time, that's what I spend working easily. I just happen to put all of that energy into things I love doing and that fill me back up rather than things that drain me. So I literally, I was very privileged to be able to do what I did. And I did it with no planning either. Like, I went into debt. I took out a massive credit card. I just quit. I just walked out. There was no planning. There was no savings. There was no thought process. There was no partner or family member or support system at home to pay the bills. Like, I had to figure out how to pay the bills and keep on my feet for as long as possible. And I have managed to do that. It certainly hasn't been easy, but the life I have now, a year down the line, or a little more than a year down the line, so very, very worth it. So if anybody is thinking about doing something completely insane, pulling the plug and moving to a different country, pulling the plug and quitting their corporate career, quitting something and starting something else, just do it. If you believe, I think in both yourself and the universe.
Mhm.
Like, the universe has got your back and will pillow you, and it is all to do with, like, your mindset. If you think that you are going to fail, you will fail. If you think you're going to success, then you will. And it is absolutely all about your mindset, and that's been such a massive learning for me this year.
Well, that's just something that I've witnessed in you. Like, even very recently, you've been practicing a lot more like meditation work and just implementing a lot of different practices. And, every time you and I voice note, which is all the time, but recently, um, you just remind me time and time again about the whole mindset thing. Because, part of the reason we connected was through this particular work that we do. And we've been taught that, our thought life creates our reality. And I think it's really interesting to hear you speak on it in a way that is outside of what you and I know.
Hmm.
Um, and like I said to you the other day, and I meant it, it's just really inspiring and admirable because it is a big leap of faith,
Yeah,
and that can be really scary, and just that unknown, that uncertainty, but just sort of being like, "Pff, let's see what happens, baby," and that law of attraction. If you
yeah,
put good things out, good things come back.
yeah. I have
And yeah.
become a big fan of law of attraction, law of assumption. I already have it. I already am this thing. you
Mhm.
know and the more I bring these things into my routine, so particularly I've been working on the law of assumption over the last month or so, and manifestation, essentially, and the
Mhm.
process always goes along the same lines of, not only do you have to believe that you are capable of achieving said thing, you have to believe you already have it. You already are that
Mhm.
person that has it. And slowly but surely, just by changing your thoughts and your beliefs, I've found that I have started acting in a certain way over the course of this last month or so
Mhm.
that I was not acting before.
Mhm.
So the Sam of the future, who has all of the things that I want to achieve, how would she spend her time? Would she
Mhm.
spend it making sure that her house is organized, making sure that her financials are organized, making sure that her body is looked after, making sure that her mind is looked after, making sure that all those messages and all those things that she said she was going to do are replied to and sorted out really quickly? And weirdly, to a certain extent, I was this person before, but
Mhm.
over the last few weeks, I have really become this person.
Mhm.
And where at one point there was a fear, like I didn't want to open the mail. I ignored emails. I
Yeah.
did, like, and I was like, I don't know how I'll ever manage to convince myself that I'm not terrified of, finance and money, and that,
Predators.
at, yeah, at any moment, like, I might, lose absolutely everything or whatever.
Mhm.
And this very, very um delicate structure that I've built over this last year might come toppling down, and I might finally run out of luck and not be able to actually pay the bills. But again, suddenly it happened. Suddenly I found myself, as soon as the post came through the door, picking it up and dealing with it and
Mm.
opening the letter. And for years, I have been the person who picked up the letter and threw it in the "I'll deal with that later" pile. So, yeah, if anybody is messing around with, I don't know, changing your mindset, looking at going into something else, thinking, oh, this is all silly and it's not real and all this woo woo, and, you know, my life is miserable and you'd be like me if you had my life too. I promise you, this kind of stuff really works. And it's so very, very powerful, and you can actually change your life. And as harsh as it sounds, happiness is a choice.
Mm. It used to be something that got on my nerves.
Yeah.
Um, because I was so in the thick of my sickness, being in my mental health, my spiritual health, my every kind of health. I think to a certain degree, there was a level of just being so sick that it was difficult at times to just take a breath. But at the
Yeah.
same time, And I even remember um, discussing this with the counselor that I had at the time, um, and have since really come to believe it, is that I was just really familiar with that darkness. And I knew what it looked like. And I even said to her myself that there was a comfort in being sad for some, like, I don't know exactly why, but it was just like, I think the familiarity aspect of it. Because we have a mutual friend that, if you're listening to this, hey, um, you know who you are. um,
Hey, how are you? I haven't heard
how's it
from you in a
going?
while. What's
How's
going
it
on?
going?
You literally never text me.
But I was speaking with him about some fears that I was having and about this fear of not being successful and failure and all these various things, right? And he poses this question to me. He goes, "Well, do you think you're afraid of that, or do you think you are afraid of success?" And I was
This
like,
is.
"Get absolutely fucked."
How very dare you?
Because at first I was like, "Well, what do you mean? Like, why would I be afraid of success?" And it's just that. It's like I was just talking about, this life of success and of abundance and of things going well on a regular basis wasn't my mode of conduct. Wasn't how I'd been living. I was living in this constant thought of shit always goes bad. I never get what I want or need. Like everything's always bad and that's just how it is.
Yep.
So for me to believe and be in that law of assumption of, yeah, it'll just happen. I am already, was such an abstract concept for me that I hadn't even realized that that's really what I was afraid of, to be successful. I don't know what that looks like. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know how I'm going to be in it. And that brings its own variety of challenges and obstacles, as anything does. But yeah, I was like, well, fuck me. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for pointing that out.
And it's so we are all afraid of the unknown. This is why we spend so much time worrying about what's to come, worrying about what the future holds for us.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this, well, what if I make the wrong decision? What if I
Mm-hmm.
make the wrong choice? What if I don't do what I'm meant to be doing? What if I never
Mm-hmm.
find my purpose? I never find my person? I never find my happiness?
Mm-hmm.
And we spend so much time worrying about not getting the thing that we essentially end up not getting the thing.
Mm-hmm. Or just doing nothing. 'Cause it's like that fear of making the wrong decision kept me paralyzed
Yeah.
for so long. And still can at times, but not to the same degree it once had.
Yeah.
Just make a decision, just move, just take some kind of action. And whether or not that thing that you choose to do ends up being the thing that you're going to be doing or not, means that you'll either do the thing or you'll be redirected to the thing that you're meant to be doing.
Yeah, you can't make the wrong choice in life.
Hmm.
You will always get to where you're meant to be. And I also had that, I was so angry at the world. I thought the world was out to get me. Everything was against me. Everybody was an arsehole.
Hmm.
Uh, Nothing good ever happened to me.
Hmm.
All of my life was hard because I had less than,
Hmm.
uh, because I was a woman, because I was this, that, and the next thing. And like, a lot of things are true, but the way I was choosing to like project that onto the world was holding me back for so long. And this is the thing, life happens. Life
Hmm.
sometimes happens quite brutally.
Hmm.
It does. But it's about how you react to that situation. It's how you respond to that situation that is important. It can either be the thing that you allow to tear you down and ruin you, or it can be the thing that you work through and build yourself back up on. And I'm not saying that you'll get that right immediately, but there you go.
Hmm.
And I think over the course of these last couple of years, I've really worked on my thoughts around being a woman and feminism and my power as a woman. And I think I've been dressing a lot more feminine recently because I finally, like, I don't think I even realized I put this together the other day. I'm back in my dress era, and I haven't been in this era for ages. I was very much trousers, power suit, brr, 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 you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very much back in my feminine era. Yeah, so I spent many, many, many years being raging at the world, being raging
Mm-hmm.
at men, being raging at the fact that I was a woman, and as a woman, I've unfortunately experienced men. The thing that many women have experienced when it comes to violence against women, and there's been sexual assault and rape in my past. And as a result, I was a bit on the ragey side of life.
Mm-hmm.
Slipped very quickly into the I really fucking despise men and all men are trash side of feminism, which took away my power.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now I've done a lot of healing over the course of the last few years. And I'm now, I think, I believe, I hope, in that it's given me power. It's the growth side of feminism. And I understand what I have to give to this world as a woman, what I can give to this world as a woman, as a cis woman, as a queer woman, as, you know, a sober woman, as a woman who doesn't really like being sort of put in a box and maybe just being stuck in the same place for too long or doing a 9 to 5, who's very creative. And there's all these different sides of me that before didn't exist. When I was the raging feminist, the only thing that existed about me was all the bad things that had happened to me because I'm a woman. And I've had to make that change
Mm-hmm.
in order to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I get that. And I think like similar but not in my experience of womanhood and being in a fat body, that was my sort of thing. Was I was so angry and so caught up in um the, like we talked about this a little bit last time, but the toxicity that is placed on fat people in general and automatically demonized as lazy, as gross, as unlovable, as all these different things. It could be it's the worst possible thing you could ever become is fat, right? Which isn't true. But for the longest time, I was giving so much of my power to society's views on fat people at large, as opposed to in my past few years, or the past few years in my experience, I don't know, my years, um, I've, I can still acknowledge those things to be true, just like I think what you were saying is there still is that level of men are trash and all these different things, but simultaneously not giving it the power to completely control my life and how I live and how I think and how I act, and can still embrace life with open arms and know that I can be happy even
Yeah.
in whatever body or mind or whatever I'm in, you know. Please.
Yeah. What about you? Have you
Yeah.
ever? You're so right, though, and like obviously you can talk about being in a bigger body in a way that I can't, and you're right. The whole men are trash thing absolutely still exists. Also, I mean, I had taken it to such an extreme, you know, and as a queer woman, obviously, I have the choice that to never sleep with men again, anyway. But I really didn't sleep with any men for many years. I was celibate for I want to say 3.5 years. I don't even
Wow.
think I even kissed. Maybe a couple of kisses here and there. I literally completely took myself off of the market.
Mm.
I don't want to say this about myself, but it's the only way I can put it. I knew that I was damaged sexually, romantically. It is very harsh, but I essentially knew I had a hell of a lot of work to do in that area, and I wasn't willing to put myself out there until I was all bare.
Mhm.
Because my
So
rage.
so sorry, was it like a proactive decision to be like, I am going to be celibate? I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I there was a couple of times where I went on and off the dating apps,
Mhm.
thinking, "Oh, maybe I should," because there was always this pressure. Usually this was why, and not usually, always it was because it was external pressure from my peers who were like, "You've not been on a date since, your last breakup. You've not What are you doing? Let's get you on the apps right now.
Yeah.
Go and get a little bit of sex and like go on a couple of one night stands." And that's not the kind of person that I am.
Mhm.
Or not the kind of person I was. I could probably do that now, but I had no desire to sort of. Even then, I think I understood that the power in being a woman, and that sensual energy and that sexual energy that we have, and the
Mhm.
power in it. Even then, I think I understood that. I understand it so much more now, and not in a religious white supremacist way. Don't give your greatest gift all, not in that way at
Yeah, yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just in a there's a lot of power in intimacy, and particularly women, when we orgasm and we're sexual and intimate, we're immediately enthused and ready to rock and roll and take on the day, perk us up, and that release, it's so powerful.
Mhm.
And it's the opposite for men. We create life, they give it. They give it all away, and then they go for a little nap
Mhm.
afterwards. So I made the choice to completely take myself away from other people whilst I figured out what the frick frack was going on with me.
Yeah.
And I didn't miss it.
Yeah.
But also, I wasn't well in that regard. Like, I knew there was something wrong in that area, and therefore it was completely logical for me to not. Whereas now I'm all better, and it's been a week since I had sex, and I don't want to say losing the will to live, but I'm very aware. I'm very aware that
Paper out.
I'm very aware that it's been a week since I had sex. Okay, and literally never in my life would I have ever thought about sex in that way. To
Mhm.
me, it was a take it or leave it, because I had trauma in that area
Sure.
I
Yeah.
had not dealt with. So to
Yeah.
me, sex was not a nice thing. Intimacy was not a nice thing. And it took me, those 3 years of celibacy and understanding my power to get to this stage now where it's been a week without sex. And I'm like, "Ah,"
Give it to
like,
me, Rachel.
yeah, give it to me exactly right
Give it
now.
to me, please.
Done celibacy? Any horrible traumas you want to talk about? Because I feel like I've just bared my soul a little bit.
You
So
did bare your soul, and I thank you so much for sharing all of that and for opening up and being that vulnerable with me and all of the people listening. Um, that's very brave, and I appreciate it. And sometimes when it comes to this certain topic, I, as a fellow woman,
I thought you were gonna.
I,
You was a fellow American. That's
as a
just what
fellow
I.
American,
I've
nah.
never heard that sentence finished any other way. Your fellow Americans will
I
thank
am
you for
I
this.
am Canadian. The Canadians at home will know that commercial. Um, and but yeah, as a fellow woman in the womanhood, I have experienced some sexual assault, but not to the same extent as some women have. And that's not to discredit or devalue or be like, you know, my experience isn't valid. But there is that sort of thought in my head of like, well, I've never actually been raped or anything like that. So at times it's kind of difficult for me to like be like, yeah, girl, me too, and really lay all that out. But had my own experiences of that and unwanted uh physical slash whatever attention in the workplace, and taxi driver getting really handsy with me and things like that. And then I guess when it came to certain times when I would like hook up with guys or like go on a date with them, it would get to that point of the evening where it's like we're starting to sort of fool around a bit, but I can tell within myself that I don't really want to go any further. But
Yeah,
then that little voice in the back of my head was telling me, but you might as well, like you might upset him, you might hurt his feelings, or it might be safer to just go through with it. I think a lot of women will understand that. Um, so there was definitely times where I had sex when I didn't want to, but I'm not placing any blame on myself, but I didn't say anything as well. So I think there was a point where I was sort of using sex as like a variety of I don't want to say like tools in my toolbox, but coping mechanisms in a weird way, like
Yeah.
either as a form of validation or as a form of self harm.
Yeah.
But then got to a point where I think when I got sober, it wasn't necessarily like, and this is the choice I'm going to make now. It just wasn't really something that I wanted necessarily. Like, don't get me wrong, I was still like masturbating until the cows came home.
Oh, yeah. By the
Um,
way, 100%. This is when my obsession with smut really took off.
skyrocketed.
Yeah, I mean, 3 books a week. If I did most of my
Nice.
reading. People are like, I'm a keen reader. They're like, oh,
Uh,
what have you read recently? And I'm like, well,
well,
I couldn't. I read thousands of books. I couldn't name a single one to you out loud.
I love that. But yeah, so the first, I think probably two years of my sobriety, I didn't have sex with anybody. I went like on a couple dates, but even then, I had like no desire to to do anything, and it was just really nice to be able to focus on my recovery and my sobriety journey, because I knew in the back of my head that even if I were to go there, my power would then be placed in that, and I would be all consumed by it. Because you were talking before about no, it's not like a religious thing where you're like save yourself or whatever, but there is
Yeah.
like an energy exchange for sure. And I think if you like have sex with the wrong person, which I have, it can fuck with your energy. It can fuck with your entire aura, as the kids say these days. Um,
Except
and
it's like I don't understand. Sorry, a quick break.
I don't get it really either. I just thought I'd throw it in there.
I get it, but it's spelt wrong.
Is it?
I think,
Is
and it's
it like AURA?
yeah, that's not how they spell it though,
How,
right?
how do you spell or? That's how they spell it, I
Oh,
thought.
is
Isn't it?
it?
Yeah,
I
I
thought it.
think.
I keep looking at it and I'm like, this is not right.
This doesn't look right. This
This
is wrong.
doesn't look right. Yeah, okay, let's. But fuck it then. Okay, yeah, I don't get it.
Some about
Um,
aura points. I'm like, I can kind of understand, but not at the same time. If there's like some Gen Z listeners out there, do you want to like explain that to us a little bit?
I
Really
get it, but I don't understand
would
where it came
appreciate it.
from. How did it? How did it
Where does
happen?
anything come from?
Like, I get it, or I love it. I prefer vibes personally.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
all
very
about the
millennial
vibes.
thing.
Your vibes
Yeah,
are off, etc. But I
yeah,
wouldn't say your aura's off.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand where it came from, and now
It's
it's
just
everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
That's okay.
You sleep with the wrong people,
Yes.
and they steal your energy like energy vampires.
Yeah, yeah. Like, granted, I was choosing them, but I also was very, very sick at the time. So I knew that if I were to do that, getting sober and doing everything else, I wouldn't have been able to focus on that stuff as much as I had.
Yeah.
Um, so, long story short, it wasn't like, I'm going to be celibate now. But I also, at the same time, was like, I don't want to give my energy away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do recommend it. And I didn't really miss it either.
Yeah. Something so powerful about being celibate and just looking after yourself for a while, I think, and really focusing on decentering men,
Mm,
on trying to decide, well, am I doing this because I want attention? Am I doing this because I think it's what society tells me in a very, patriarchal way that I should be doing? Am I dressing this way because this is the way? Because at one point I didn't even like identifying as a woman
mm,
because I felt like society was so against femininity
Yeah.
that actually I was consistently penalized for, if I decided to wear a skirt or a dress to work, people would be immediately, why are you wearing that?
Yeah.
You know, if I wear my hair in and, my space buns, I love my space buns. If I wear my hair in my plaits that I've had in the last couple of days, it's a young thing, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore you shouldn't be doing it as a woman of your age. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, moving forward, the decisions and choices I make are for me as my
Mm-hmm.
authentic self
Mm-hmm.
and not for consumption of anybody else.
Yep. Make what you like, do what you want. If it makes you happy, it's go for it and fuck the rest.
Yeah,
Fuck the haters.
haters gonna hate.
Haters are gonna hate.
All right, gators. You should be that truck in Cars that's like a little bit country. That's who you should be. And his name is
Oh, Mater.
Mater. Yeah.
I love Mater.
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Anyway, yeah. Did you send me the? Did you listen to the Riverside song I sent you?
I listened to about 0.5 seconds of it.
That it's such a banger. Why don't you listen to the full thing?
I think I started it at my bedtime or I was doing something or I can't remember what. I was like, I'll
I
listen to
just
a little bit.
because I've sang that song, I think at least 4 times when we've come on here to record, and
Really?
you've just let me make noises at you, and not been like, baby girl, what are you constantly singing?
But
Like I
isn't
see
that
it.
just like our thing? We just make noises
I
anyway.
mean, it
So I
is.
didn't,
I was flabbergasted when I found out you didn't know the song.
I didn't question it. I was
I mean,
just
it was
like,
literally huge here when I was in university. It was
was that
massive.
Riverside audio at the start? Is that from 21 Jump Street? Like Ice Cube.
Yeah, it's got Ice Cube vibes. It's certainly not Ice Cube,
Just the
but
guy at the start. It's Ice Cube, right? He's in 21 Jump Street. Let me
I don't
Google.
know. I don't know.
Let me Google.
It's a very straight person film. I can't say if I have seen
Well,
it, I have no recollection of it. I'm sorry.
well, I hate to break it to you, sister, but I am straight.
No. You mean all of
Stop
this?
presses.
I know. All of this bonding has been for naught. You won't be my wife? Because I am no better than a man, and I'm only in it for your hand in marriage.
You're just
Because
trying
we
to wet my
know
pants.
that's what all men are in it for. Marriage.
Yeah. Yes, it is Ice Cube from the movie.
Ice Cube, baby!
I
99, baby! That's the only one I really... I know a couple Ice Cube songs, actually, that's not... But Put Your Back Into It is... I would like to think a millennial classic, but maybe... Did you have underage nightclubs in Canada? Were
not
these
that
a
I
thing?
went to or really knew of. But there might have been like
Like,
under
it was...
21 places, but our drinking age is 19 here.
Well, we had under 18 nights regularly.
Hmm.
In like the actual nightclubs.
Oh. Yeah, see, I
They
don't
were...
think that that was a thing. They wouldn't
Oh,
give up the
yeah,
profit.
they were amazing. Amazing. I
That
used to
sounds
get
fun.
down to see I've been a club rat since the very beginning.
From the
Since I was
start.
like 12 years old, that's the first
Good
time
for
I was
you.
in these clubs. Um so yeah, Ice Cube, put your back into it. I've been getting down to that for a long time, lads, a long time. It's still on my
Yeah.
playlist today. Comes on in the car quite a lot. I'm like, Are you
Uh,
googling under 18 nights in Canada now?
yeah. Is that the you can do it, put your back into it?
Yeah.
Banger.
I always forget you're a couple years younger than me, and it really does make the difference.
Big tune. Yeah. Well, you are an 89 born?
Shut your mouth. 90.
Sorry. Almost put you into a whole nother decade.
You almost did, yes.
Oh yeah, you're 35 and I'm 31. So yeah, that makes
You're
sense. I still think that I'm just 30. And I'm like,
Just a baby.
Wait,
You
are
are
you
just a baby.
35? Are you 34?
No, I'm 34, but I just let that one slide. I'm 34.
I'm sorry. You know what?
It's
Just
okay.
take me out.
It's okay. I mean, it's almost. I mean, I'm so close. It's only 8 months until I'm 35.
Top. It's only 8 months. Like an entire year. Oh, fuck me. Okay, so it looks like there are underage nightclubs here in Toronto. And I just
Oh, I don't
wasn't a
think
cool
they
kid,
still
so
do them here.
I don't know
Like,
what.
those things have been outlawed. The place I went to shut down. I think there was some kind of one of those rumors. I think that went around about it will be the drugs, and they ran away with all the money or something like that. I think there was quite a lot of
Mm.
that happened around here. How much of it was true, I don't know, but I don't think they do them now. They wouldn't be nearly as cool. When I obviously started going, you were still allowed to like, smoke, chew gum. I mean, not that 12-year-olds should have been smoking, but we were. Well,
They
I
shouldn't have
didn't.
been chewing gum.
It was the gum thing that really. I personally hate gum. I think actually
Really?
it should be fucking outlawed. Yeah, it's disgusting. Why are you all eating it? Like it
Why? Okay, tell
because
me about.
it makes me hungry, and I can't. And
So
it's
you're
not.
just mad because it's not actual food, but it gets your hunger going and your taste buds
Yeah.
flowing.
Why would I? Why
It's
would
like
I
a
do that?
cheese.
It's like, yeah, and then I get sick because I'm so hungry. I'm like, oh, I need food now. I'm gonna literally pass out and die. My stomach is like, what the fuck are you doing to me?
So you've never just popped in a piece of like mint chewing gum just to freshen your breath?
No,
Wild.
mints exist, but I don't buy them. I'm not. I don't have a packet of mints in my purse. Have I hit that age already? Where I'm like walking around. Do you want a mint? I've never been a
Well,
mint
not
buyer.
mint, like mint gum.
Yeah, I know, but mints at like old
Tic
people have mint.
Tacs.
Well, I like Tic Tacs though, but they're sweeties. They're just sugar.
Yeah. I like the
They're
orange Tic Tacs.
the big ones that have the lime and the orange in them. The
What?
mix. What? You don't have the mix. You have the mix of the lime and the orange.
Probably.
Yeah, so the orange and the green. And then you can get them in the big packets that they're like the size of my hand. And I mean, my hand's quite small, but still.
I just was thinking of the orange ones. I'm just Googling it. I'm Googling everything today.
I think that we should start making a list of all the things I talk about that you've never experienced, and I can bring them over to Canada next
Yeah.
year. I can't wait to lounge in your pool every single day. The fact that you have a pool just makes me like, holy shit, you're living my dream life, girl. I'm a water baby. I know I'm not a water sign, but I am a water baby.
Get your water, baby. Orange and green Tic Tacs. Search. Tic Tac variety flavors. Sweet. Oh, I see. 4 orange Tic Tac mint sweets. Orange and mint?
Orange
Blech.
and lime, but they are all minty.
I
No,
guess.
not for you. And there's cherry ones. You got those?
I love the orange ones. I don't know if I've
Okay.
tried Terry Tic Tacs.
And so they don't come in the really big Tic Tac boxes in Canada then?
Maybe. I mean, like, I've only had Tic Tacs like a handful of times. I'm not like a Tic Tac connoisseur.
Right, okay, well, maybe we'll stop having this conversation then.
But yeah, the pool just closed. We just closed it on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's it done for another year.
Another year.
Well,
See you next
another
year, sweetie.
season or two, whatever. I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
close. It's like 8 months.
Yeah, like my birthday.
Exactly.
You proper put me into my mid-30s there, you
I'm
know?
so sorry.
That's okay. I love getting older. It's better every single year. We keep saying this, that being old
It's
is
true.
fun. Being old is fun. I'm not old. I'm 34 for fuck's sake. But
You're old and decrepit.
decrepit.
Oh my gosh, did you ever play the game MASH?
No.